I can run my entire home for 3 to 5 days just off of this truck. That is equivalent to 10 Tesla Powerwalls for the Ford F-150 Lightning for people to drive around and get things done.
Oh no. So this is Ford is actually having us out just to drive it around. And so this isn't ours, this is Ford.
They like you guys that much.
Yep.
Man.
See ya.
2022 has been the year of the electric truck. They seem to be coming out all the time. We've driven the EV Hummer recently, we've driven the Rivian, and now today we get to drive the actual Ford Lightning F-150, the first electric truck by Ford. The sun just came out, kind of. Wow. That's nice for a second. So today I get the pleasure of driving this truck around San Antonio, Texas. I know a lot of my friends have pre-orders for this truck, and other than maybe the Cybertruck, I've had more excitement for the Ford F-150 Lightning than any other truck. But there's a few things about this truck that I think make it the most monumental of all the trucks. First of all, did you know that over the last 45 years, every single year, the Ford F-150 has been the top selling truck in the United States? In 2021 alone, they sold 760,000 Ford F-150s. Everywhere you go on the freeway, if you look for it, do it. This next time you're on the road, look for Ford F-150s. You're going to see them everywhere on the road. I counted at least 30 in my hour drive just in the side of traffic that we were going on. I couldn't even count the ones on the left. There were so many of them. And the reason why I think that people are buying it is because, yes, it's nice to have a truck that has a lot of different options, but it's a lot of business people that are buying it. A lot of construction workers, owners of businesses that need to have a fleet for their company for people to drive around and get things done. For people to drive around and get things done. When was the last time you towed something with a truck?
Last week.
Last week? What did you tow?
I towed a double wide horse trailer.
Oh, okay. And was that with an electric truck? With the Rivian?
My Rivian.
Okay, how did it handle?
Really good. I did not notice, because I used to have a Tacoma, which wasn't great at towing, but I did not notice the trailer was there with the truck. Like the acceleration was still phenomenal. So it'll be interesting to see how this Ford holds up.
The last time that I towed something was 5 years ago. And I love that they put an electric boat on the back, which I would actually like to test that out. Did you know electric boats existed? Let's actually go on top of it. Whoa! Wow, I'm here to review the Ford truck, but check out this electric boat. Get up here, come look at this thing.
I wonder how much power it has.
This is so cool, look at the screen on that. I signed the waiver. I don't know what that means. Do you mind if I drive this guy? It is 8,300 pounds. From a safety standpoint, I'm just going to assume that people set up the hitch properly. A scale of 1 to 100. How scared are you, Zach, right now that I'm towing something?
Enough to put my seatbelt on.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, you usually are not a seatbelt wearer, so that means a lot. Let's do it. Off we go. Oh. Do you hear that noise? Is that what it always sounds like when you tow stuff? I don't tow stuff that often. Oh, I feel it back there. The nice thing about having an electric truck is that when you're on a downhill, it'll actually use the motor as the brake, which doesn't just give you a nice smooth brake, but also it's regenerating the battery. You're actually gaining miles as you drive. So that is one nice thing is, oh, what was that? I've always been into tech, but I've never really been into cars until we bought a Tesla. And there's no coincidence there because when you get an electric vehicle, you're not just getting a car with 4 wheels that drives on the road, you're actually getting the latest in technology. It's no surprise over the last few years, almost every one of the tech reviewers that I know has purchased a Tesla or an electric car, a Lucid, a Rivian, whatever it might be, because the technology in here is really smart. Out of the 200,000 reservation holders that they have right now, 4 out of the 5 of those are brand new to EVs, never driven an electric truck before or an electric car. And if you're one of those people, one of the things you're going to notice very quickly about this is that it is quick. 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. It has 580 horsepower. When you're driving down the highway and you step on the pedal, it doesn't need to take a moment to get the gas going or to change gears. It is one single transmission that instantly accelerates and just goes as fast as you're gonna push it. You're gonna feel that acceleration and you're gonna go, wow, I've never had that inside of a gas car before. That sucker's fast.
I think it's quick.
That sucker's quick.
This sucker's quick.
Check out this camera angle. Hopefully this one paid off.
Nice parking job.
Hey, back off. Mr. Expert Towing Man.
You're the one who needs to back off the grass. How about that?
If you're somebody that's buying this, I think it'd be a fantastic truck for a construction worker, for a plumber. It's even got little rulers right here along the plastic so you can measure things. You can use this to clamp in your saw. You can plug it in. There's 4 different outlets, but how about this? You also have a 240 volt electric outlet right here, which what would you want to charge with that? Well, how about you want to charge somebody's Tesla that ran out of juice and they need an extra 10 miles? You could plug into this and actually charge somebody's Tesla. Let me check out this tailgate. It's not only got a step, but it's got a little bar for you to hold on to so that you don't fall down while you get up on the truck. That's pretty useful. Check this out right here. Tons of space to store things inside of there. But what if you have a laptop and you want to work on your laptop? This is where you choose drive or reverse or park. And if you push this button, that conveniently goes down so that you can then open this up and you've got a little workstation for your laptop. That's pretty useful. There's seriously outlets all over the F-150. Ford is basically telling you, I don't care what it is, if it's electronic and you want to charge it with your pickup truck, you can do it with the Lightning. Whether it's charging your cell phone, charging a Tesla, charging your stinking house, the Ford F-150 Lightning can do that for you. And that's pretty amazing. And that's a good tie-in to today's sponsor of the video, which is Anker, and more specifically, the Anker 521 Charger Nano Pro. This is about the same size as the charger that you might be using for your iPhone currently, but this charges your latest Apple device faster and smarter than any other charging box that's out there. It gets you 40 watts of energy, which gives you the fast charging on your iPhone, which is what it's intended for. So you can charge your iPhone and your iPad at the exact same time with the dual ports. This has Active Shield. It's an all-new charging safety system that's built into it. It monitors the temperature inside of the box and it can actively adjust with the chip inside of it to make sure that it's at a safe temperature for the charging. This is the Arctic white color, but now it comes in 4 different colors: black ice, glacier blue, and cool lavender. This is part of the Nano Pro lineup. Best-selling Anker 511 is still available on the market, but I really like this one when I'm traveling because of the power that I get from it. Thank you to Anker for sponsoring this video, and if you would like to get yourself the Anker 521 charger, the Nano Pro, check it out. I have the link in the description where you can see the information on it and buy your own. My absolute favorite feature of the Ford F-150 Lightning has to do with the charging. You know that I have Tesla Powerwalls at my house. They are 13 kilowatts per Tesla Powerwall. They're $11,000 for each Powerwall. I have 131 kilowatts of energy that's inside of this truck. If we got 130 kilowatts worth of Powerwalls, that would cost us $120,000 just to get that many Powerwalls, and that doesn't even count installation. This is an inverter that you can buy in addition to your truck. It is gonna cost you some money. This is around $4,000, and you can use this truck just like I use the Tesla Powerwalls. This truck is equivalent to 10 Tesla Powerwalls. If this truck is connected to my house, I can take the energy from the sun that goes on my solar panels, fill up the truck and charge it, and then at nighttime when the sun isn't shining, that can run my house. That can run most people's house for 3 days, or if you're really efficient, up to 9 days off of a full charge 131 kilowatt. And this is a $70,000 truck. So that's crazy utility. You buy a truck that you can drive around. You can't drive your Powerwalls around. Another thing that I really like about the Ford F-150 Lightning is the price. It's between $40,000 and $70,000, depending on which model you get in extended range. When you look at the gas-powered F-150, it is pretty close to that range from the lowest end up to the Ford Raptor. The Hummer EV is well over $100,000, if you can even get one of those, and the Rivian is around $80,000 or $90,000. It is kind of sold out right now until they start producing more of them, but they are planning on producing 150,000 of them next year in 2023, which should constitute about a third of all F-150s, gas or electric, that are produced. And considering there's 200,000 reservations right now, I would think they can catch up pretty quickly to that number. Okay, this is the underbody of the F-150 Lightning, and it doesn't have the skid plate on it right now. And the thing that I want to point out that I think is interesting is there are 8 bolts, here's one right here, that are underneath here. So if this gets into an accident, they can hoist this up, take off these 8 bolts, lower down the battery pack, take apart the battery pack, and very easily and quickly see which battery cells are broken and not broken and be able to fix that. Now, why that is significant is because if you remember the last time I was here in Texas, which was a couple weeks ago, I was in the Tesla Gigafactory, and the Model Ys with the 2680 packs are actually structural battery packs. And the main question that I had on the video from a lot of people, it's like, what happens when you get into an accident? Do you have to just like total the entire car because it's a structural battery pack? We don't really know the answer to that yet. But with the Ford truck, it is nice for repairability that you can just take off those 8 bolts, drop the battery pack, check it out, see which cells are maybe broken or not working, hopefully be able to replace it and service it, and then get this truck fixed and get it on the road. Zach, can you tell me what's going on here? I don't really know. There's not very clear instructions.
There's something, a word comes to mind. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what this obstacle has anything to do with.
Wet dirt. Wet dirt.
Dirt.
He says we can go through it at most speeds, but don't stop in it because that's not ideal. The clearance in this truck is 9 inches, which, Zach, how does that compare to like other trucks?
So it's great for a truck, but if you're ever going off-road, like the lowest my Rivian can go with an adjustable suspension is also 9 inches. So it's like the absolute minimum.
Do you know what the Hummer is? Isn't that like 15 or 16
It can go up to 15, which is also what my Rivian can do, 15 inches.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
So almost double.
There's an off-road track where you can kind of rally it around the corners. They have hay on the side so that it can kind of keep you from going off track a little bit. And I was about to go do the track, and then I saw one of my journalist friends, and he was driving it much better than me because he's a professional driver. He legit ran over hay barrels.
Oh no.
And tested the skid plates. So let's see how the skid plates did, running over full-on hay barrels. Oh my gosh. Yep, a little hay left over. So he actually dented the skid plate right there. The skid plate that's right there just past the front motor. Skid plates did their job. So you don't want your battery pack to get damaged at all. You don't want to puncture a battery cell. And so they took extra precautions. The steel on this F-150 is actually the strongest F-150 frame out of any F-150 in history. And part of that is because you do need to protect the battery cells.
I think this is a fantastic, like a fleet, like a work truck, off-roading. It's not a Jeep or a Rivian, but it is a fantastic work truck to get the job done. It's got tons of useful things.
Now let's talk about some of the things that I don't like as much about this truck, even though I do love this truck. The range. 300 miles is the best range you can get with the long range Ford F-150 Lightning. 230 miles is what you get with the lower cost $40,000 Lightning. I would say 90% of people are gonna be totally fine with 300 miles range. For somebody that has to take a lot of road trips, that's a little bit lower, especially if you're going to be hauling something long distance, like over a couple hundred miles during the day, then this range may not be enough for you. But the reality is, one thing you don't have to do by driving this electric truck is stop here at the pump and pay for gas, which gas right here, I'm in Texas right now, it's a little cheaper. For diesel, it's $5.09, and for regular, it's $3.89 today as I film this. But this stinky gas pump is something that you are not going to be using once you buy this truck. The second thing that I don't really like about the truck that's not ideal is that Ford does still have the dealer franchise model, which means that there are different local franchises all across the United States. And some of them can choose to sell the Ford Lightning, and some of them can choose not to. And then some of them can choose to say, I want to charge $5,000 above MSRP, and some could say, I want to charge $50,000 over MSRP. And corporate Ford really has no say in the matter, where if you look at companies like Tesla and Rivian that sell direct to consumers, the price is what the price is. If there's a price increase, it's going to be across all of the models versus a specific local dealer that maybe decides that they want to mark it up because they don't have so many of them. And as an owner of an electric Ford F-150 Lightning, you would think that you could pull up to any Ford franchise and they would have outlets there for you. Because all the franchises are different and not all of them support electrification, there's a chance that the local franchise dealer that you pull up to doesn't even have a charger there. Where on the flip side, if you went to any Tesla store, they will have chargers there for you, whether they're the destination chargers or the superchargers. That's something that hopefully over time, as Ford starts selling more electric trucks, the franchisees can evolve a little bit and catch up with the times and realize that electrification is a good thing and they will support that model. But it's just one thing that's different with Ford versus buying from Rivian or from Tesla. And the last thing that I'll point out that I don't necessarily like about the Ford F-150 Lightning, which are small things, is the looks of it. It does look good as a truck. Like, it's a good looking truck. It looks just like every other Ford F-150. Like, there's not that much of a difference. When you see this driving around town, unless you're really into trucks, you're not gonna know that this is a different vehicle. When you drive the Rivian truck around, or once the Cybertruck comes out, everybody's gonna know that is an electric truck. And in some ways, that really helps the adoption of EVs. When people see something that looks unique, they're like, wow, that looks really cool. I kind of want that. And if we really are going to convert people that love gas vehicles over to EV, sometimes we do need a little flashiness in the vehicle in order to convince them that, hey, this is cool. People do want to keep up with the Joneses and have something really cool that maybe their neighbor doesn't have. And the Ford F-150 Lightning looks a lot like any other Ford F-150. And my last thing that I don't necessarily love about the truck is the turning radius. It is a big, long truck. And maybe I'm a little bit biased because one, I drive a car, and two, the last truck that I drove was the GM Hummer, and they have crab walk. They have four-wheel turning. And so even though the Hummer is probably just a little bit shorter than what this F-150 is, the turning radius is incredible. You can do a U-turn in a street very, very comfortably. Elon Musk has said that the Cybertruck will have four-wheel turning, but at the same time, if it came down to me spending an extra $40,000 or $50,000 for a truck, I'm definitely going to take the truck that has not as good of a turning radius, but saves me some money. Ford is definitely doing something right with this. It really is the only truck in the world that you can plug into your house and actually charge your house. And that really blows me away, because if I can buy a truck that is equivalent to 10 Tesla Powerwalls, but still be able to drive the truck around the neighborhood or around the city whenever I want to, that's an amazing option. And if I was somebody that lived like here in Texas, where they have a lot of power outages, or California where they have power outages, this is 100% worth it. What's funny is this is the one truck that I didn't put a reservation on. I did a reservation for the Rivian, I did one for the Cybertruck, and now this is the one that I really want to buy so that I can tie it into the grid and also use it as a truck. Let me know your thoughts. Is this something that you would use, or am I just kind of weird because I like solar and I like batteries, power and everything? Thank you, Ford, for bringing me down here, and thank you guys for watching. And let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this. I can run my entire home. Woo, it's windy out there. That's pretty useful. Full on hay barrels.